Welcome to the Girl Talk Oracle podcast, where we get into all things self-love, healing, leveling up, and becoming the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Kiera, helping you gain insight and clarity on life's challenges and opportunities. In these conversations, we'll get into the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Hey, y'all. My voice is so... No, we're not doing this. My voice sounds horrible. It's 10 o'clock. I woke up at like 8:30 today. And y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, bullshit will come knocking at your door. Like, that's literally, like, my morning. Like, please leave. Like, I was sleeping peacefully. Please leave. But anywho, welcome back to the Girl Talk Oracle podcast. I'm your host, Kiera. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So last week's episode, we kind of talked about, it was just like a bunch of questions, but I kind of touched base on, my spiritual journey and like psychic abilities and things like that. So I told y'all I would give like a more of a deep dive. Excuse me. I told y'all I would give more of a deep dive on spiritual things. And plus we are in spooky season. It is October. Now I'm not really with like the whole push of like the movies of spooky season. Like I like the more fun Halloween movies, not the more demonic Halloween movies. Like I fucking hate those. And I told y'all about that last week. But yeah, I just kind of want to get on this episode and just talk about just my psychic abilities and like when I realized I was actually psychic, because I've been psychic my entire life and I just never knew that I was psychic. Which is crazy because it's like, how do you not know? It's because like you grow up hearing about certain things and it's like, okay, just a backstory. I'm always giving backstories, but just a backstory on the first time I ever realized I was psychic. Now, I didn't know I was psychic when it first happened, but now that I'm an adult, I realized that I am. So the first ever right? The first ever time that I experienced my first time, having a psychic ability, was when I was 9 years old. I was like 8 or 9. But just to like kind of talk about psychic abilities in general, I'm gonna get to like the story time when I was 9 years old, but just to kind of like touch bases on psychic abilities in general. You know the saying, like, everybody's psychic, you're just not really tapped into it, or everybody has like a psychic ability. Some people's are more stronger than others, and for me that's the case. So for a fact, I am a dreamer. I see visions in my dreams. I've had vivid dreams since I was a child, but I thought everybody did. And then for my clairaudience is getting stronger the older that I'm getting. So that is the ability to be able to hear. That's getting stronger. I'm more. I need to pull them up because let me pull up all the psychic abilities real quick so I don't like mix it up. But basically, I know for a fact that I'm a dreamer. I see things, I have visions in my dreams that come true, but I don't know exactly what that psychic ability could be called. I kind of thought it would be called clairvoyance, the ability to see, but I really rarely ever see anything in the physical. So I'm like, maybe that's not clairvoyance. Maybe I'm just a dreamer, or I call it a dreamer, or most people would call it a prophet or something like that. Prophet. Why I say it sounded like a prophet, like money. Like I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. I feel like I'm saying that word so wrong. Okay, let me see. Why do I always almost spell psychic with a S all the time? I literally cannot spell, y'all. I would never lie and say that I can spell because I can't. I really cannot spell. I'm trying to look up like the psychic abilities for like the different ones and what they're called, because there's a like a list of them. Okay, let me go to, okay, there we go. So they said there's 11 of them, but I've only ever known of 5. So maybe we're going to get educated on this again today. I hate when I get on websites and it keep giving me ads. So the first one that is on here is clairvoyant, which is the gifted ability to see. You can see auras, you can see the person, you can like see things, like you can vividly. I am clairvoyant. Oh my goodness. It says that you can see things in your mind, or you have the ability to see spirit. Um so technically I am clairvoyant because I'm a dreamer, so I see it in my dream, but my third eye is not really activated until I'm sleeping. So like that's why I'm only able to see when in my dreams. Like um yeah, yeah. So that's clairvoyant. Clairsentience is the ability to sense or determine when something is positive or negative. So basically, the ability to sense like the feeling, I think. Then we got clairaudient, which I said mine is not as strong as my. I think my okay. We're gonna get to we're gonna get to it. Clairaudience is the ability to hear. Claircognizance is the clear knowing. Um, and then there are some other ones on here. Precognition is the ability to see the future events. Okay, so that might be what my see. Look at me unpacking some of my own abilities on this on the pod, right? So that's probably what I have. Precognition. I don't know how to say that word. Remote viewing. Oh, I do that. Oh my goodness. I do a lot of these and didn't even realize it, but it's like I don't do it on purpose, okay? I got so many story times for y'all, and it's daytime right now, so and good thing my daughter's coming home tonight, because I get scared, y'all. Like I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't get scared about my psychic abilities, because I do, and that's probably why like I don't like to talk about it as much, is because I actually do get a little bit afraid, because it's new to me and I don't have anybody in my life that's really guiding me on this journey. I'm kind of like figuring it out by myself. And then they got like mediumship and stuff like that. Um, but basically, when I was 9 years old, I realized that I was clairvoyant. I didn't realize it until now, until I became an adult, that I was actually clairvoyant, because when I was between 8 and 9 years old, my auntie Bonica passed away. Um, and I vividly remember being at my other auntie's house. So my auntie Bonica is my dad's younger sister, and we were all at my mom's sister's house. She stayed in Whitney Young. For any of my family watching this, I'm just trying to give you all the details, okay? We were at my auntie's house when she stayed at the top in Whitney Young, and I think I was in her bedroom, laying on her bed, and I vividly remember seeing my auntie standing by that door, and I told my aunts and my mom and all of them, and they told me that it's probably because I was just looking at her picture for too long. And me as an 8 year old, I'm like, oh, okay, like I know what I saw. Like I know what I saw standing by that door. Like, and even for my mom, like I don't know, it couldn't have been my mom. My mom couldn't have been there. I feel like it was my auntie. No, it was my auntie, my mom's sister, and my uncle's ex-wife, which is my auntie as well. Because I grew up around her too. Um, and sh- they both told me like I could have just been looking at the pictures for too long. But if I had told my mom, she would have validated me, because number one, my mom is also very psychic. She has psychic abilities too, and my sister do, but they're not tapping into it the way that I'm tapping into it. Like they're not really into spiritual gifts and things like that. I'm not gonna say my mom's not into it. Like she's into it, but she's not into it. Like I don't think my mom wanna. She's not. She's only sees when it's out of her control, but she's not doing what I do. Like she's not trying to tap into energies, doing tarot and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So my mom she's clairvoyant, she's clairaudient, because my mom have always told us stories about seeing and hearing, right? And since she was a kid, she's always had the ability to see and hear spirit. And my sister, my sister's is off the fucking chart, you hear me? But I try not to like talk to her too much about it, because I think her, when she was like, she can't control hers, and her abilities are way stronger than both me and my mom's, but she don't want to tap into it, so I try not to talk to her about it, because I don't think I don't think she want anything to do with it. And but she's seen way more than me and my mom have ever seen. um but yeah, so I feel like it's kind of like in my family, you know. And so yeah, like when I was 9 years old, I had my first time having, a vision, or, seeing someone. But I've always had dreams about things. And, I've always been able to, like, I've always seen things in my dream. And like one of the psychic abilities that I just read on their website says something about remote viewing, which I think isn't that called like astral projection? Is that? Let me know if that's not the same thing, y'all, because I don't want to mix these terms up. But I've definitely astral projected before, but I don't do this shit on purpose. Like that's what um like I really want to like let y'all like I'm not like not let y'all know, but like I don't do it on purpose. I've never went laid down and vividly imagine myself to astral project and then astral like I've never done that because I'm actually scared. Like I'm really scared to do it because I don't have guidance teaching me that stuff, right? But the first time I ever astral projected was when I stayed in my old apartment back in 20 like 18 2019. It was kind of like right before we moved. I know my daughter was born, so it was right before we moved. And typically when I do astral project, it's because I woke up out of my sleep and then I try to doze back off, but like I lay back down without trying to go to sleep, and then I doze off and go to sleep, but my mind is still awake. That's when I astral project. And so that the time that I did astral project, I was in my bedroom. I always sleep with my door closed no matter what. Um, it, well, now I really don't because my daughter sometimes sleeps in a different room than me. But I typically will always sleep with my door closed. And I got up and I turned around. I looked at myself. I was laying. My daughter was in the bed. I looked around. I looked at my door. I didn't ever try to leave my room. I stayed so close to my body. It's as if I knew I should have been like close to my body. And when I um when I went to go look out my window, the sky was like bloodshot red and it was like fires everywhere. And I was just looking like remote viewing, like looking at the world, and like the skies was red, and like it was it was just red. And I just remember then I just woke up and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like it's like I got snapped back into my body. I've also dealt with like sleep paralysis a lot. Like I've heard people say that they force themselves into sleep paralysis. Like that is crazy as hell to me because um it's scary. Like I don't see why somebody would want to force themselves into sleep paralysis. I do feel like sleep paralysis comes from when you're trying to astral project, but then you wake up in the process. Like you realize like your body is asleep, but you like I can't explain it, but I think it's when you're trying to like astral project or you're on your way to like astral project and then something happens in the mix of it or I think like with like you know the saying that like you can see different stuff around you when you're trying to because you're technically in the spirit realm when when you're like so high in your mind and your consciousness that like when you try to astral project and then you go into sleep paralysis because of it. So that's when you feel like something is like weighing on you, like it could be feel like a demonic spirit is like weighing on you. That's happened to me so many times. I stopped sleeping at the foot of my bed because whenever I would sleep at the foot of my bed, I noticed I would go into sleep paralysis anytime I slept at the foot of my bed. And I used to love to sleep at the foot of my bed. Like I never liked to sleep at the head of my bed growing up, but I would always go into sleep paralysis when I did it. I also used to sleepwalk a lot when I was younger. I don't necessarily do it as much now that I'm older, but I have caught myself sleepwalking before as an adult. One time I was sleepwalking and I got up out of my bed and I I went to my daughter's room and I grabbed her and I brought her into my bedroom. I don't know why I did it, but when I woke up, I'm like, why did I just go in there and get her? And I was like, what the freak? Like maybe it was something like that my conscience knew to like get her and put her with me. Like I don't know, I don't get it. My daughter also sleepwalks, so I think she gets that from me. It was one time when I was a kid, right? My mom, um, my mom and my dad were asleep in their room. I was sleeping in my room. Me and my sister shared a bedroom, and my mom told me that I got up out of my bedroom, walked to her bedroom door, and just stood there, and I just started pissing on myself. And then like she woke up, like her and my dad were both screaming at me the entire time, but I was so gone, like I was so out of it, like I did not wake up. And my mom, I just woke up when she started like shaking me and woke me up. And then I'm like, I don't know, like, and she's like, why are you sitting here peeing? And I was like, I thought I was in the bathroom. And I like literally just sat there and pissed on her floor, like That's so embarrassing. But like I started sleepwalking when like from a young age. I used to sleepwalk. Um, but yeah, like having psychic abilities is something that I don't really like to talk about as much. I think the biggest eye opener, which I kind of spoke about, mm-mm, which I kind of spoke about in last week's episode, was mm, was I feel like, oh my goodness. I feel like, see, sometimes, like, right now, like, it's so crazy because people won't believe you. Like, I can hear, like, okay, never mind. Um, what was I talking about? Oh, like, what I talked about in last week's episode was, my confirmation that my dreams, like, I was seeing the future in my dreams. Um, the biggest confirmation for that, like I said in that episode, but if you didn't check it out, I'll just give you a backstory. I don't want to stay too long on this subject, but the biggest eye opener to my psychic abilities was real like when my brother passed away. Um, oh my goodness. Okay. Woo! I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it. I feel like I can talk about it, but I just don't want to go into too many details because that's what's gonna make me like spiral a little bit. But basically, I started having dreams back in 2021, and I write all my dreams down. This is my dream journal right here. Um, write all my dreams down. This is my second dream journal. My other dream journal I have is still in my bedroom, but I start writing all my dreams down. And the first dream, the first dream that I had about my brother's passing was, it actually was more, it had more to do with my younger brother than it had to do with my older brother, which my older brother is the brother that passed away in July. My psychic abilities have more to do with him, with my younger brother, than my older brother. So story time. Let's get into the story. Okay. So 2021, I had a dream that we were planning a funeral. Me, my mom, and my sister were planning a funeral, but my youngest brother wasn't there. I never realized that my oldest brother wasn't there. My youngest brother wasn't there, and we were all crying. Well, in the dream, everybody was crying. Everybody else was just looking at me, but I was crying because I knew that my brother was gone. Like I thought Sean was gone, and I just knew Sean wasn't there. And then I had a couple more dreams, and so the next dreams that I kept having about it, um it was just about my youngest brother, and it's always about him not being there. And my brother, he ended up going to jail, prison, whatever. My brother ended up going to prison. So I was like, maybe that was the dream. Like, it wasn't actually about anyone passing away. We were just grieving the fact that my youngest brother was going to jail. And I was like, okay, so that was the dream. So so then I kept having dreams. The next dream that I had was actually about my big brother. So that dream was like, like the saying where they say like your life flashed before your eyes. That was the dream. Like, I literally, hold on. Okay, so I want to tell this story, but like I don't, like, if I cry, I cry. It just is what it is. So the the dream was basically his life literally flashing before my eyes. Like, I literally seen an entire like vision of my brother flashing before my eyes in my dream. And it was just like him in his happiest moments, just smiling, laughing. And I told my mom about it, and I was like, I don't know why I had that dream about him. But it was like so crazy because me and my siblings, we got like really close. Like, my youngest brother, he was not there. Hold on, I gotta check my mascara. My youngest brother, he wasn't there. But me and my sister and my oldest brother, we got like really close over like the last year, like the last 2 years, and we got like really close. And I had the dream about his life flashed before my eyes. And then fast forward is getting closer to like, him almost passing away, or it's getting closer to the date that he passed. And then I had another dream. And in this dream, um, I'm having another like remembering another dream right now, and it's so crazy because I forgot about that dream too. But I had another dream that this one was about my cousins. This one was more related to my cousins. So we were in in my apartment, and my aunt, like, I was pulling out all these pictures, and I was like handing them. It was pictures of my brother, and it was pictures of my cousins, and it was pictures of like my family, and they were like handing me all these pictures. And I told my mom about it. I'm like, I don't know why I had a dream about, my aunt and her kids, and like, them handing me pictures, right? And so I didn't think nothing of it. And then I had another dream. In this dream, it was me, my sister, and my dad, and I forget what we were doing, but we ended up in this like hotel room, and it was like 100 doors in this room, and the the what was I gonna say? We were in this room. It was 100 doors in this room, and I remember trying to call my brother, and when I was trying to call him and tell him, and this is so crazy. Okay, this was the same night, but like transitioned to a different dream. But I was trying to tell my brother that I had found all these pictures of him, and I could not reach my brother. I could not get to my oldest brother, and I was trying to tell him, like, I got these pictures of you. I got these pictures, but when I kept trying to call him from the hotel, I could not call him. I could not reach him, and so I'm like, okay. So like I told y'all in the last episode, I always would tell my mom about my dreams because I wanted to, in a sense, feel validated when it would come true, so people wouldn't think that I was bullshitting about having visions in my dream. I always just wanted to feel validated about it so people wouldn't think I was fucking crazy. Like, I'm not crazy. And the thing that hurts the most is like my validation came from my brother passing away, and like that's the shittiest feeling. Like, it's so fucking shitty. Um, but yeah. So like my stomach is growling. But that's when I realized like I was psychic. Um, I've always known, but I always try to like hide it, or I've always tried to like not acknowledge it as much. I know like with my psychic abilities, like they're better when I'm doing better, like when I'm at a good mental state, when I'm eating healthy, like when I'm drinking my water and eating healthy. I notice that's when my psychic abilities are stronger. Like when I'm eating bullshit and not taking care of my mental health and my physical health, like that's when my psychic abilities are ass. Like right now, I'm not gonna bullshit with y'all. Like I have not been eating healthy, and I low key feel like I'm kind of like self sabotaging myself because I know for a fact the moment I start getting back healthy and start back meditating and doing what I got to do to keep my aura cleansed and like keep myself better, like is when I'm gonna start having visions again and stuff. But I just don't like. I'm trying to like be okay with it because you can't change it. Like there's nothing that I can do to change the future, even if I see it in my dreams. Like I can't change it. There's nothing that I can do to change it. So it's a shitty feeling, and I think it was the shittiest validation card. It was like a slap in the face because it's like, oh yeah, you're psychic, you predicted it, but my brother is still gone. So it's like, okay. So that was like the shittiest thing ever. It was like the shittiest feeling in the world. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I've also had visions about other stuff. So I want to get off the topic of like, because I don't want to be sitting here emotional the whole time. But another vision that I had was the I had a vision about the world ending. And I know y'all, I watch a lot of like movies about the world ending. Oh, I watch a lot of movies about the world ending, but in this dream I was with my youngest brother, and we were in my city riding on we were on 35. It was like it's like a connect like a highway. We were on 35 going towards this street called James H. McGee. And I used to live in DeSoto Bass, like it's the projects. I used to live in DeSoto Bass projects, and we were going towards that area. Um, and it was like this big tidal wave, like this bitch. I said bitch. It's this big ocean of like water waves, right? And the world was fucking ending, y'all. And I vividly remember this guy reset time. They reset time, and I was the only one that knew that they reset the fucking time, but they reset the time, y'all. And I was trying to tell everybody, like, they reset the time, like they keep doing it. Every time we get on the brink of this world ending event, they reset the fucking time, and I'm the only one that knew it. And the guy in the dream, he didn't seem like he had like any intent. Like he wasn't trying to be like, like somebody who was just like scandalous or anything like that, because he told me to find Sam. And I was like, who the fuck is Sam? Y'all, like, who the fuck is Sam? That's what I really wanted to know, right? He said, find Sam. And I'm like, who is Sam? Like, I don't know who Sam is, right? And it may or may not be related, but I started back. This is off subject, but I actually started working, right? And there's a lady that works in HR. Like, she's really nice to me. She's super sweet to me. She's amazing. Like I've only known her for a couple months, and like she's so amazing. But her name is Sam, y'all. And I told her, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like you're supposed to help me with something. Like, I'm supposed to get some type of knowledge from you, and it may be spiritual related. It may not be spiritually related, but the fact that I end up getting the job, and like, and I don't know, I don't know what it is about her, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about her, but she's so sweet, and like, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to get some type of information from her, and I don't even think she knows what the information is that she's supposed to give me, but I feel like I'm supposed to learn something from her. I don't know. That's so weird and off subject, but yeah, psychic abilities are definitely real. When you allow yourself to tap into it, you'll tap into it, but if you don't want to awake to it, you won't. I'm also claircognizant. Like I said, like I have a little bit of a couple of all of them, like clairvoyance, clairaudience. I think clairaudience is the one that I like, is my least one, right? That I feel. Because I feel things like what is it called? Like when you're an empath. I forget which one that one's called. I think it's clairsentient. Yeah, clairsentience. That's the like I if I would have to like rank which ones I feel the most, I would say claircognizant is the one that I know the most. Like, literally. Like, I sometimes just know things without knowing them. And then I would say clairsentient, then clairvoyance. But clairvoyance is also something that is kind of like back and forth. Like, sometimes I see in my dreams, like, I dream every single night. Like, there's not a night where I don't dream. I don't know why people, well, everybody dreams, but like, I remember my dreams very vividly. And then clairaudience would be the fourth one that I feel. But clairaudience is not as high as the other ones. Like I said, the older I'm getting, the clairaudience is getting more intense. Like, I kind of hear like the ringing in my ears a little bit, and then I'll just sit there. Like, they say like when you hear the ringing in your ear, it's actually when you can sense the like the frequency change, or you can sense like another like frequency shift, or you're tapping into different frequencies yourself. So that's what that is, I feel. Could be tendonitis. Ain't that's what that is? When you have ringing in your ear? I might have said the wrong word. I don't care. um, but yeah, I think psychic abilities are something that, you know, if you want to tap into it, you can. If you don't, then you won't. And I think I was more of one to start tapping into mine. Um, I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm an oracle reader, tarot reader. Like, I feel like I'm walking the path that I'm meant to walk. I ever experienced deja vu? So I think deja vu is when you see the future and you forget that you saw it. So when you see the future and you forget that you saw it, that's what I think deja vu is. It may or may not be that, but that's just what I think it is, because I have it a lot and I'm just like, I probably am having deja vu because I've seen this before and I'm just reliving it. It seems like I'm reliving it, but I'm technically not. But it also could be the whole thing where, you sign a contract to come here on Earth to, elevate human consciousness, or raise the vibration of the planet, that whole thing. So it could be the fact that you saw um, everything that you were meant to do before you got here, and that's why you have deja vu. I also feel like sometimes deja vu could just be letting you know that you're on the right path, or letting you know that something major is going to happen in your life. Because most of the majority of the time when I had deja vu, right after I have it, like, I'm not saying like a minute after, but when I start to have deja vu a lot, it's like right around the same times when a lot of chaotic things start to go on in my life. So I think that is the whole, like, okay, you came here to do this, you came here to break these chains and cycles, so this is why you're experiencing this type of deja vu. Or, like I said, it could be you seeing the future and then you just thinking that you having a memory that you saw before, and it's just because you already did, you seen the memory or you seen this moment in time before, because time doesn't exist. It's all happening right now, and then yesterday happened right now too. Time does not exist. So you're tapping into different timelines and you don't realize it. So when you dream, you're tapping into different timelines, and when you wake up and then that you actually go into that timeline that you tapped into, you call it deja vu, but it's actually you just seeing a vision that you already saw. Um but yeah, deja vu used to freak me out because I would be sitting there, and like when you have deja vu, for anybody who has ever had deja vu, like when you're having it, you can't just say, "Oh, he's gonna trip. Oh, she's gonna walk over there." Like that's not how it is for me anyway. Like when I have deja vu, when I have it, I'm like, I've been here before. And that's the only feeling that I have, is I've seen this moment in time before, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen next. But as it's happening, it's like, okay. And then it's confirmation as the things are playing out. Okay, I've been here before. I've seen this before. But it's not like, oh, he's going to pick a red pop. She's going to drink that juice right now. He's going to trip over that chair. Like, it's not like that. It's more of, I've been here before, but them tripping over the chair is confirmation because I know that I've seen that, but I don't I can't tell you that they're tripping over the chair in 5 seconds. Like, that's not how it is for me anyway. I saw this video on TikTok, I'm pretty sure, and it said that people who are Christian based or religion based will call a prophet, and then people that are spiritual based will call you a psychic. So it's like, what is really the difference between the two? I don't know the difference between the two. I just know that I consider myself a dreamer. Um, that's just what it is. I consider myself a dreamer. I don't know. I also I've been looking into like palmistry. I think that's what it's called. I don't know what shit it's called. Like, I think it's called palmistry though, where you can look at your palms and tell like if you're psychic or if you can astral travel or whatever the case. Oh my goodness. Speaking of dreams, I remember I had this dream. It was me, my sister, and this girl, and we were at these gates. Oh my goodness, I just had another vision of this other dream. Hold on, I gotta tell y'all about my dreams. So I had this other dream, and me and my sister we were at like, for us it was we were in the back streets because I lived in the neighborhood like where I grew up. It's called the back streets. So we were actually in the back streets, like by this corner store we used to go to called Gephards, and we were trying to get back there, but there was this big gate and they were not letting us leave. Like, it's like kind of like it felt like imprisonment, but in the dream I felt like it was like, you can't come over here. You ever hear like when people talk about astral projecting, but they can't get certain places when they astral project and in they remote view, they can't get certain places. That's how it felt. It felt like we came upon like a certain like area where we couldn't get past it because there was a barrier blocking us from getting over there and seeing what was going on. That's how it felt in the dream. Another dream that I had was we were it was like train tracks. We were down I grew up on the west side, so in my city. So we were on the west side going by like Dunbar Manor area, and like the rail, it was these railroad tracks, and we went onto these tracks. But next thing you know, I was like in Dubai or something. I was like in a foreign country, and I was being chased through the mall by these foreigners, and it was like really scary. Like, they were chasing me. Some people were being nice, but like these guys were chasing me. And I like hurried up and jumped on the train. It was like, it was so scary. But like I ended up being in this like mall with like a bunch of different people, but they were trying to like get me for some reason. They were like looking for me. I don't know. I'm weird. Like that dream was weird. I don't think I ever wrote that down, so I didn't get the full details about it. I also had a dream when I hate bringing up my this I had a dream when my ex was leaving. It was I was in my we were here. I was in my bedroom and my daughter was in the hallway. He was in the hallway. And then I don't have a big window at the top of my house. Like I don't understand where the window came from in my dream, but it was like this owl, the bird. I don't know if I pronounce things wrong, but it's an owl, like the bird. And it flew through the bust through the window and it like chased him away. And I hurry up and grabbed my daughter in the room and the door slammed. And I bullshit y'all not even 24 hours, he packed his shit and left, y'all. He left me. And I was just like, so I was like shocked, but then I'm like, here, like, you've been telling yourself this. You've been seeing this. You've been seeing the signs. You've been seeing it, right? And yeah, that's how it was. And I feel like that owl was like my spiritual protection of like, you let him go, like, and it like blocked him from me, you know? So I don't know how long have I been talking? Geez, this episode is going to be long. So I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap up right here. I don't know if I really touched base on a lot of stuff. I kind of just was rambling on because I don't have a script. I was just kind of giving y'all like story times. I was just kind of giving y'all story times on my psychic abilities and, you know, what I experienced as a psychic. And I am going to start back eating healthy and, you know, tapping back in because I noticed like I felt more free at that time. Like, and I was like, you know, in control. I feel like I have water on my lips from drinking that water. I was like more in control of my, you know, my psychic abilities and what was going on in my life. I was more, I guess, alert, I would say. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, so spooky season, spooky season. Um, yeah. So let me know if y'all want to hear any more like stories about my gifts or yeah, so because I love to talk about it. I just, you know, it's kind of hard to talk about the first conversation we were having because it's still a sore subject for me. It's only been what like 3 months since then, so since my brother passed, so it's still kind of hard to talk about it. But yeah, that's what we have for today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please let me know if you did enjoy this episode. And I will catch y'all back next week for another one. Bye. Tuning into the Girl Talk Oracle podcast. I'm your host, Kiera. Make sure you head over to our Instagram at the Girl Talk Oracle, where you can keep up with the latest conversations for each episode. There is a dedicated post with questions that you can answer along to. So make sure you check it out over on our Instagram. Again, that is at the Girl Talk Oracle. And I will catch y'all in another episode.